Thank you for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso here on SABC3. Let's talk banking. You may think banking fraud is something that happens to those other people, but the hard truth is that anyone can be a victim. Fraudsters, they work really hard. They work overtime to constantly find new and very convincing ways to scam us and steal our money. And to help us spot the scammers is Dion Lowe, Nedbank's head of card and merchant fraud. Dion, good morning. Thank you so much for making the time.
Hi, Tabiso. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Dion, what are the latest methods that fraudsters are using to scam us?
Well, Tabiso, I think like you and I, most of us have spent a lot of time in lockdown, and we're not used to kind of interacting physically like we did in the old days, if I can refer to them as the old days. So we're all interacting more and more on digital platforms. We're buying goods, we're selling goods, we're interacting with our banks. And criminal syndicates have seen this, and they're kind of exploiting the uncertainties and the insecurity of clients who are new to digital, and getting them to divulge information that they normally wouldn't give away. And then they're taking that information and they're using that to obviously do card transactions, to access their accounts, or to steal their money on another way. And that's how clients are falling victim to this at this time.
And is there a specific profile for the type of customer, banking customer, that would be most affected, and on which platforms would they be targeted?
So unfortunately, everybody's a target at this stage. We're finding that syndicates are using what we call vishing, where they're making phone calls to clients. They're using smishing, where they're using SMSs. They send you a link. If we look at the vishing, we'll see that clients get a phone call from somebody pretending to be from the bank. They then say to them that there's fraud on their account, or somebody's trying to access their money, or that they're going to lose their loyalty reward program, and they need to act immediately by supplying some sort of information to the clients, to the syndicate. This information would be the kind of rest of the digits on a card number, the CVC number or the CVV number, which is printed on the back of the front of the card. And a lot of times they exploit the kind of technology that we use in terms of the OTP, the one-time PIN, or in Nedbank's case, the Prove It. And clients divulge this information, unfortunately, kind of while they're a bit under duress.
And, you know, the thing is, Dion, that these calls and these SMSs and all these links that they're sending through can be very, very convincing. But how will a client know then if a phone call or an email or an SMS is actually from Nedbank?
Well, I think clients must realize two things. One time is when the client is going to phone the bank because they want to do something. They want to get help with a transaction, they want to do some banking, or even when they are engaging with an online merchant because they want to buy something. In those cases, it would be clear that the client is actually transacting and interacting. It's the calls that you get out of the blue, the one that you're not expecting, when you're not banking, when your wallet is in the back of the car because you're traveling somewhere. Those calls that you need to be client for. I think when we call you as a bank, we've got all your information. We know who you are. We've got your ID number. We've got your card numbers in full. We've got your last payments made. We've got your last purchases that you've done. And we'll never ask you to divulge sensitive information like the one-time PIN, or we won't ask you to do an Approve It. We most definitely will not ask you for the security codes on the back or the front of your card at any stage because we don't need it. A lot of the time the fraudsters say that they need this information to kind of process a credit or stop the funds. There's nothing like that. If you read the SMS, it will clearly say you are about to pay, or you are about to do a sensitive transaction, and clients must take the time and effort to actually read these SMSs or one-time PINs or the Approve It message. It's vitally important.
This means that we all have to pay extra attention and be more careful when it comes to reading communication from the bank. Make sure that if you feel that it is somewhat suspicious, that you actually take a moment to pause. But if someone has fallen victim, then, Dion, to a scam, are they able to get their money back?
Yeah, so I read this question, and I think this is a difficult one to answer. There's unfortunately no yes or no answer on it. So what we'll do is we'll review each and every case we receive, and we'll deal with them on merit. I think people must remember, with the digital age, once a transaction is approved, there's no way we can recall that transaction. It doesn't mean that we cannot get funds back for you, however, but it's vitally important that you get hold of the bank as quickly as the transaction has taken place and tell us what's happening so we can see if we can work in the background and secure or recover any funds for you.
And what about if someone feels that they are being targeted by fraudsters? What should they then do?
Well, I think there's two discussion points that we're having. One is vishing and one is smishing. Vishing is obviously the phone call one. If you're on the phone call and you get suspicious, simply end the call immediately. if you are falling victim to a phishing attack where you've kind of clicked on a link and you're putting your banking credentials into that link, stop doing that immediately. And in both cases, I think it's vitally important that you get hold of your bank. You can either stop your cards via your banking app, or you can phone the call center and tell them what's happened, be honest, and say this is what's happened. It's vitally important that we need to know what information you've supplied them, because we need to see if they're going for your cards or if they're going off to your accounts, and what has happened in the background.
Dion Lowe, Head of Card and Merchant Fraud at Nedbank, you have been so helpful this morning. Hopefully these notes help so many of your customers and many other banking clients out there be more careful around transacting and, of course, paying attention to those fraudulent calls, SMSs and emails they might get. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Teresa.
Well, if you feel that you are getting a call, an email, or a message that is fraudulent, please do trust your instincts and do not share any personal information. Rather, go onto the Nedbank website or the Nedbank Money app and contact your bank through their official contact channels. Again, thank you very much to Dion Lowe. Stay safe and alert.
Thank you.